Hello everyone, this is Professor Robert Solis. Welcome to this next video lesson. We're going to continue talking about pointers, and so I've called this thing CS232 Pointers Part 2. The idea is to create a program that calculates the area of a perimeter of a square based on the user's value or side value. And I have to use pointers in this particular program. So let me go ahead and click OK. I'm going to create a C++ file. So I'll go to the Solution Explorer, Source Files, add a new item. C++, that's fine. It's going to create a program called source.cpp, that's fine. So I'll click Add. All right, now let me go ahead and create the boilerplate code, which is going to include IOStream, using namespace, std, int main, open and close, curly braces. And then system pause, return 0. Go back over here to the top of our program. We're going to have a declarations comment, get user input, calculation. Oh, actually, before I do calculation, in fact, before I do anything else, it looks like I have a version 1, version 2 based on my notes, so I think I'll just put declarations here. And let me go ahead and declare a variable called side. I'm going to declare a variable called area, and also I'll declare a variable called perimeter. Now, I'm also going to create pointers to those variables, which means those pointers are going to be pointing to the address of side, the address of area, and the address of perimeter. So that just simply means you put this asterisk in front of it. So this is a pointer. Now, do I have to put this PTR? No. In fact, a lot of programmers do this. They just do that. For me, this adds to the readability of the program, just putting that PTR at the end. It's up to you. But please note that in the industry, you probably won't see that PTR. Maybe you will. Most likely you won't. So let's create area pointer. Let us also create a perimeter pointer. Now, what does this thing contain? It contains the address. Well, we're going to make it, not yet. We're going to make it contain the address of side. This will contain the address of area. This will contain the address of perimeter. So how do I do that? So we'll say side pointer is going to contain the address of. That's what that ampersand means. What does a pointer contain? An address. In this case, I want it to contain the address of side. For the area pointer, it is going to contain the address of the area variable. For the perimeter pointer, it is going to contain the address of the perimeter. Okay, so let me create version 1 and version 2 of our program. Version 1 will be kind of like the straightforward approach. Version 2 will use pointers. Well, if I'm just going to go through this straightforward, I would just simply say cout, enter a side value. I'll take that side value and put it into the variable called side. In terms of the calculation, well, the area is going to be the side value squared. So if the side is 2, 2 times 2, or 2 squared, is 4. So I can just do this. I can just simply say that the area is going to equal to POW is my mathematical function. It comes with std, standard library. And you give it the base, and then you give it an exponent. So the base in this case is side, and the exponent will be 2.0. Or I could have just put 2. That's fine too. The perimeter is going to be 4 times whatever that side value is. Now I said 4.0. Should have probably just said 4 because this is an integer. So I want integer times integer. Although if I put the 0.0, that's okay too. It'll still work. All right, now that I have the area and the perimeter, I can go ahead and create an output. And the output will just simply be cout the area is going to be whatever the area is, and del. And then, of course, the perimeter is going to be whatever the perimeter is. And then, of course, end del statement. Very simple calculation. Let me save my work and then run the program. Let me move the output over here so you can see the code. Enter a side value 2. Okay, so the area is 4. That makes sense because a side, which in this case is 2, squared. So 2 squared is 4. And then it says over here, whatever that side is, side times 4 will give me the perimeter. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, so again, a very simple way of determining the area and the perimeter of a square. In fact, let me do this. Let me just put I should have done this at the very beginning here. Put a quick comment here. Create a program that calculates the area and perimeter of a square based on the user's side value, using pointers. That's what our goal is. And you've done that in version 1 by just using a standard approach. Enter the side value. Now you can calculate the area. Now you can calculate the perimeter. Now I'm going to comment out everything that I've just done. And let's do the same thing but with pointers. And so I want to show you like a contrast to compare. That way, if you're confused about pointers, you can go back to like version 1 and see what the goal was and how we did that using version 2. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to comment out everything here from version 1. So I'll just simply select from here to here. I don't want to select this guy, system pause. Just all the code over here. And then I'll click this guy over here where it says comment out the selected lines. Okay, so those lines are selected, or now commented out. So now over here, enter. Let me create a version 2. So I'll copy this, put this guy over here, and we'll call this version 2. Okay, well the first thing that I need to do is, of course, to get the user input. So get user input. And so the way that I'll do that is first I'll say to the user, enter a side value. And we're going to put that not into side, but we're going to put it into the pointer side value or side pointer. Now, this is really indirectly doing this, right? Because this is an address. And so this is going to put it into the address that refers to a side. Well, once I have that, I can perform a calculation. And so the calculation is going to be this. All right, the area pointer is going to contain, this is pointing to an address, and the thing that you are pointing to, this is what I want you to put into its contents. Side, comma, 2.0. In other words, what is the side squared? When you solve that, I could do the same thing for the perimeter pointer. What am I going to put into U? Well, whatever 4 times the side is. This is pointing to an address. What do you want to put into the contents that I'm pointing to, the address that I'm pointing to? That's a way of stating it. Well, now I can go ahead and generate the output, which is cout. The area is going to be, now, whatever you are pointing to, display your contents. So I'll say it like this. Here's the translation. Whatever you are pointing to, display your contents. That's what's happening here with this cout statements. Whatever it is that you're pointing to, whatever memory address that you're pointing to, how about this? Whatever memory address you are pointing to, display the contents of the thing that you're pointing to. It would be as if at night there's a cookie jar in my house with cookies. I am pointing to the cookie jar, and inside are the contents of that cookie jar, which are Oreos. That's what this is. It's pointing to a memory location. Specifically, I want the contents of that memory location. And then I'll do the same thing for perimeter. Perimeter. Again, the pointer, perimeter pointer is what I want. I want you to give me its contents, and I'll put endel. Go to the beginning of the next line. Save my work. Run the program. Let me run the program this first time, and then we'll stop it. So I enter the number 2. Area is 4. Perimeter is 8. Yep, that's the correct answer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the program right here so I can investigate what's going on. Okay, so it looks like I've created side, area, and perimeter. Now, I also have created these pointers, which you know are going to contain addresses. This is going to eventually contain the address of this, and that's what I'm about to do right here. So what is the address of side? Well, over here in my autos panel, it says here the address of side is a hexadecimal address. That's what that 0x means. 0113FEC8. We are about to put that into the pointer. So when I step over, now look at what side pointer is. There it is. It's the same address of whatever this address location is. I do the same thing for area. I do the same thing for perimeter. Okay. So now these pointers contain the address of. So I can take a look at those items. Let's see here. Let me take a look at this guy right here. I'm going to pin this down, and I can drag it down with me here. Oh, that's cool. Now, this is the address that's pointing to side. What does it contain? Whenever you see something like this, that just simply means like randomness. I don't know what it contains. It doesn't contain anything that you have assigned or initialized yet. It's just random value. It's like when you turn on a computer, all the memory that's available to you, what numbers does it have? I don't know. It just happens to be whatever the electrostatic properties of a binary randomness that happens to be in that memory location. And you don't know what it is. Okay? So that's what this means, but that's about to change. Because over here, I'm going to ask the user to enter a side value, okay? And then when I do enter that, put that into the address that this thing is pointing to. Well, what is the address that you are pointing to? You are pointing to this address. Here's the contents. So watch this. I type in the number 2, and I press enter. Okay, so now this thing, which is pointing to an address, and that address contains the number 2, which is the thing that I just entered in. Now that I have that, I can determine what the area is. So side, which is 2, squared, I'm about to put that into the address of what this thing is pointing to. So let me just click this guy over here. Oh, I love these little push pin things here. Here's the address of area pointer, which is pointing to area, right? That's pointing to area, the address of area, which is nothing right now. It's some random value. But after this, okay, 2 squared is 4. And then finally this guy over here, let me push that pin over there, put that over here. Perimeter pointer is pointing to the address of perimeter. All right, what does it contain? Random value right now, but we're about to assign it 4 times 2, which is 8. So when I step over, now you see it has 8. So now, for the output, send out the string area plus, okay, this pointer is pointing to this location. What is your contents? 4, that's what I want you to display. Display the contents of the pointer. Here it is, 4. Okay. Over here, send out the word perimeter plus perimeter pointing. What are you pointing to? This right here, this address. Okay, that, I want your contents of the thing that you're pointing to, which is number 8. So here, the number 8. And then I'll just simply finish the program. Okay, and that's it. So would you do this in the real world? Probably not. But this is an illustration of how pointers work, which is nothing more than the address of. And so I assign what it's the address of. All pointers point to an address. I'm telling you what I want you to hold, the address of. And I can also get indirectly the thing that you are pointing to, the address that you are pointing to. I can get that item indirectly with that pointer. And that's it. This is Professor Robert Solis. I hope this video lesson was helpful. Have a good day. See you next time.